Okay. I used to think that I was the strangest person in the world, but then I thought, there are so many people in the world. There must be someone just like me who feels bizarre and flawed in the same ways that I do. I would imagine her and imagine that she must be out there thinking of me too. Well, I hope that if you are out there, know that yes, it's true. I'm here, and I'm just as strange as you. Frida Kahlo. Frida was an immensely talented artist who had been through many hardships in her life that she had been able to channel into her art. Well, in Spanish class a few days ago, I had to choose someone to do a project on that greatly influenced Spanish culture. So when I chose Frida, my teacher told me that although she had a great historical background, she was kind of a lot to look at. This greatly disturbed me, that he would look at this woman who had such a rich history and just see her as another face, only see her flaws. After class, I was still disturbed by this discussion with my teacher. So I asked a few of my friends what the first word they thought of when they heard perfection was. From the girls, I got the average answers of models, makeup, and Beyonce. From the guys, I had very few good answers. I had an ex-girlfriend, I don't know, I don't care. And my personal favorite, it's the weekend, I don't want to do anything that involves school. So, when you look in the mirror, what's the first thing that you see? Do you wish that you were taller? Do you wish that you were skinnier? Do you wish that you had longer hair or different colored eyes? Do you see your flaws before you see perfection as a whole? There have been studies done to show that this is how most women's minds think. 80% of women feel insecure when they see models in magazines or on TV. And 42% of children in 1st through 3rd grade wish that they were skinnier. It concerns me that this is my generation. They're going to grow up to be the next great leaders of our nation, and they're worried about the way they look when they're 8. So I'm going to put this in your minds. The average person is 5'4" and weighs 140 pounds, so about my size. The average model is 5'11" and weighs 117 pounds. I mean, just look at Albert Einstein. My bad. He looked insane, but knowing him, you would know he's brilliant. When you see this picture, you'll look at him and think maybe E equals MC squared, or the idea of simplicity. Think about what would have happened if we had judged Einstein based on his appearance before his intellect. We would have basically thrown away one of the greatest scientists of our nation, and we wouldn't have the concept of time that we have today. Every day, I sit in my math class, and I look at a poster. It's this picture, but giant. And I think how funny it is that this is a picture that Einstein was actually trying to ruin for the media, so he stuck out his tongue, in his mind making it unusable. The paparazzi found this, however, and they broadcast it everywhere. I think it's funny that the media, for once, found the perfection in the ways that it was imperfect. Sorry. I'm not perfect either. So maybe a person who has the newest trends and best makeup isn't always as perfect as they may seem. Maybe they don't help other people in need. I know. Excuse me, again, I'm only human. President Roosevelt. He spent most of his life in a wheelchair due to having polio as a child, yet he always insisted that his presidential photos were taken standing up, so you wouldn't see this man. When he was chosen for president, there was no on-air television, so you couldn't see him. You could only hear his ideas portrayed through newspaper and radio. I wish that school elections were run this way, for one of two reasons. First, it would guard against discrimination, and second of all, I hear people talking about why they're not going to run. They say that they're not going to run because they know they'll never win. They know they're not popular enough or not pretty enough. I challenge you, next time there's an election, vote for the person whose ideas you value and the person who has the best merit, rather than the person who's the most popular or the prettiest or your best friend. So, maybe a person who has the newest trends and best makeup isn't always as perfect as they may seem. Maybe they don't help other people who are in need. I know a lot of my friends will see a homeless person and they'll just kind of scrunch up their nose and even walk away. as if it was contagious somehow. One of my favorite stories is a story of a woman who every day on her way to work, she would walk down the street and hand a $10 bill to a different homeless person. One day, she was in an H&M, a clothing store, and a man walked up to her and handed her a $50 bill. At first, she was confused as to why the stranger had just handed her money, but then he explained that once he was one of those homeless people on the street, and the money that she had given him over the past 3 months had helped him to be able to get a job and get back on his feet and get a home. There was perfection in this woman's selfless act of kindness. She saved another man's life. So, take this $50 bill, for example. Who here wants this? Even if I crumple it up, seemingly no longer perfect, right? Who here still wants this? Even if I took this, stomped it into the ground, and it was all dirty, how many people here would still want this? This shows that value is intrinsic. It has nothing to do with how something or someone may look on the outside. It's what's inside that counts. I challenge you, when you leave from here, try to look past appearances. Get to know someone before you completely abandon them. Forget the ideas that have been forced into your head since you were little, that to be perfect, you have to be skinny or tall or have long hair. Know that perfection can be defined in many different ways, such as intellect, creativity, individuality, and personality. Know that everyone is perfect in their own imperfections, and we just need to realize it.